Yes, Bab. I just thought I wanted to come on and say something, right? Now, Andrew Tate, I thought he was an absolute fucking arsehole. The biggest arsehole ever, right? But you know something? Like, it's like everything in this world. People make people look like fucking idiots to make themselves feel better, right? Now I grew up. I was born in '79, right? Now I agree with a lot of what he says, and it's like if you have got a husband, why do you need to go out and party with girlfriends and that? I'm telling you now, as a woman, you're only doing that because you're bored of your man and you want to go and get something else, right? Now, he says that the old school, like, respect for morals, it's how I was brought up. Excuse me. It's how I was brought up, you know? And it's right, you have just got to get out there and do it. And, like, I suffer with mental health, right? But what I've learned is if you don't get off your arse, right, no one's going to make you feel better but yourself. Now, I've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, right? I've suffered with drug addiction, domestic violence, sexual abuse, everything you can think of, right? But some days I don't want to get up, but I have to make myself get up, right? And I'll tell you something now, he is right about, looking after your man and doing stuff like that. I don't agree with him. He should be allowed to fuck off with his mates and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if you trust him, then, but shall I tell you something now? If Andrew Tate was my man, which that'd never fucking happen because he wouldn't fucking even look at me if I was on the floor. But I'll tell you something now, I'd trust him. I'll tell you I would trust him because at the end of the day, it goes on about how he speaks about all these girls and stuff like this. But you know something? He's a decent man. If you listen to his, which one was it now? James English, the podcast I watched. And then there's another one, I think that's called BP Deal, and they was at his house for 5 hours. And even his brother, and I'll tell you something now, right? All this shit about him is bang out of order. And you know something? The man is sitting there, right? And he's not giving it all fucking 10 men, right? He's sitting there and he's saying, you know what? When I was in prison, I was devastated. I hated it. Right, and you know what I mean? He's not scared of showing his feelings. The only thing is, he's very passionate in what he says, and he's very like, but you know what, I'm the same. People say to me, stop shouting, Colette, stop shouting, or the way my face looks. And I don't mean it, it's just because I'm so passionate about it. And there's one thing, I can't stand fucking liars. I can't stand fake people, right? And at the end of the day, he's come from nothing. You know what I mean? And he's a decent. I hold my hands up. I was wrong about him. I really, really was wrong about him. I was shocked when I watched that them podcasts. But let me tell you something now, right? I never usually judge people because I've been judged all my life, right? And I'll tell you something now. I was wrong. I shouldn't have judged him. But the fact that I kept seeing constant, like all these, clips of him being an arsehole and all this kind of stuff. But he isn't. It's because people are doing it. And, at the end of the day, I'm not being funny, but if I wouldn't mind him being a dad to my son, because you know what? I know my son and my daughter would grow up and be decent people. Do you know that? They wouldn't be going around sleeping around and going to brothels and going to lap dancing places. No, they wouldn't. His wife is a very, very, very special woman. Do you know that? And fair play for keeping his family out of the spotlight. Why shouldn't he let him? Because look what's gone on. You know what I mean? It's wrong. And his brother as well. His brother's all right. I like his brother. It's old school morals. It's how I was brought up, you know. And it's like, I really like him. And you know what? I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong, right? I'm not fake. And I'm not, I can't stand any fake bullshit, right? And he's not. He just says it as it is, and he says it what everybody else is thinking. But you know what? You're all too fucking scared to open your mouth and say it. Do you know what I mean? Andrew Tate, you know what? You're the man, babe. Seriously. You keep doing what you're doing. I'll rate ya. Yes, Bab.